They really
Oh,
don't have much of a social media like you
we're
do.
we're live. Hold on.
We'll go on that.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Travel Talk Tuesday with me, Lainey Melnick of Dream Vacations, and the fabulous Charlie the Traveler,
Hey,
global travel expert. And today, episode 7, can you believe we're on 7 already?
hmm
We are
lucky
going
number.
to, that's right. We're going to talk all about Bali, a fabulous island in Indonesia. So, hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Did you have a good Thanksgiving? We'll start a little light.
I've learned from years of experience not to overeat on Thanksgiving. So I ate just a normal meal. I knew there was going to be more food the next day, so I didn't pack it all in like tomorrow would never come. So I felt just fine.
Well, that's good. No nap that you had slept through the whole night then.
No, no, no. I it was a nice, clean meal, and the next day I felt like $1,000,000.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we went, none of our kids could come home. So we went out to the Omni Barton Creek, which used to be a country club, and they were having this Thanksgiving buffet with s'mores where they were cooking the s'mores and grilling oysters, Rockefeller outside. It was really fabulous. And I didn't have to cook it all.
I need to hang out with you more, Laney. I think that's what I got to do.
Exactly. I know the places to go. All right, let's talk Bali.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Oh,
Bali,
wait.
Indonesia.
Before we start, let me just give a quick plug to scan the QR code up there to win a Norwegian cruise, 7 nights. We're going to give a quarterly sweepstakes contest. Every quarter we give something. So this quarter is Norwegian cruise. And we're going to, of course, give a giveaway for anybody who comments hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday on any of our live streams. We are streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. So go ahead and put in the comments Travel Talk hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday, and you can win a $50 credit towards any travel. I'm sorry, every any Charlie the Traveler tour that you book through my agency, Lainey Melnick, Dream Vacations of Austin, Texas, the Westlake area here. Anyway, okay, let's talk Bali.
Let's do it, girl.
Okay.
It's a popular one. It's super far. It's a lot further than most people think before they start doing their research and
Mm.
figuring out what they want to go there. So it takes a long time to get there and get back, but I've never heard anybody regret for going. Um, it's a good spot, especially for honeymooners,
And
but for family.
I get a lot of people who think it's going to be super affordable, like for an island. Would you say compared to the other islands, French Polynesia, Tahiti, Maldives, that Bali is less expensive?
You're the one having a $500 dinner in French Polynesia, not me. Okay, so
Tahiti is very expensive.
yeah, no, no, you're not going to have that problem in Bali. You get a good bang for your buck over there for sure. The hotels are really good, and they just keep getting better and better, and
Yeah.
there's more volume of it. Um, the food's good, and they take like a fusion over there of because some of the stuff in Indonesia they eat, it's a little bit hard even for me, for someone who's kind of been exposed almost at all at this point.
Right.
But they like putting like a lot of like bones in there, and they know that Westerners don't like
Oh.
that. So what they're
Mm.
able to do is take their dishes and kind of take out the stuff the Westerners don't like, and then they fuse it into this like East meets West type of thing. It's really good.
I understand that suckling pig is like one of their big delicacies.
Mm.
Is that something that you'd see in a tourist area, or is that one of those things that really it's more of the culture there that likes that?
No, they like it. You're not going to
Mm,
find that obviously on other islands
mm,
because the other parts of Indonesia are Muslim and Muslims don't eat pork.
right.
But on the
Yeah.
Buddhist island of Bali, you'll see that particular delicacy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting that there's a bigger Hindu population in Bali than Muslim. So, yeah, you would think you're in a Muslim area, but it's not. It's much more Hindu.
Yeah, Buddhist,
Yeah.
Buddhist kind of stuff.
Also, so there are lots of really interesting tourist type of activities that are more, there are some super adventurous. There's a monkey park, right? You can go see the monkeys. What other things do you do, or do you want to take us through your tour?
It's good to have a couple of bases in Bali. Um, Ubud, UBUD,
Hmm.
is the most popular place where people base themselves to make excursions. But I also tell people to go up north to a place called Lovina, Lovina,
Mm.
because that way you're not like going back and forth the same road over and over. So you want to see as much as you can, cover the highlights, and not have to change your hotel every night because you don't want to pack and unpack. So most of it can be done from Ubud, but a part of it you want to leave to go to Lovina to see some things, and then you wake up the next morning. You're going to see these dolphins right outside your hotel,
Mm.
and then you kind of come back toward Ubud, see some new things you hadn't seen the day before, and then you're back in Ubud. But for sure, Ubud is the best um, place from which to make most of your excursions. Not all, but most.
And I mean, there are five-star resorts. You've got the Six Senses, the Four Seasons. There are some beautiful villas. So there's a variety of accommodations that our clients, our shared clients, can experience. Do you usually do those types of resorts when you price yours, or do you do the four-star, more general kind of resorts?
Most people who come to us want the 5-star hotels over
Mhm.
there, especially considering you're getting a good bang for your buck. Um, so that's the kind of place where it's like if you ever wanted a 5-star hotel, that's the kind of place to get it at.
Mhm.
Um, as opposed to like in Canada or something, you'll feel the price difference over there. Um, but yeah, you're going to get a good value for your 5-star hotel in in Bali. And Ubud has a lot of them. There are also other 5-star hotels that are further south of Ubud, closer to the airport. Um, and sometimes what people do is they say, "Well, I just arrived in the airport. I want a hotel that's closer to here."
Mm.
Generally, I discourage people from doing that. They usually arrive like in the morning or afternoon. I typically tell them like, let's see the southern part of the island now that we've picking you up from the airport, and at the end of today, let's take you to your hotel to Ubud. Um, it helps you save a little bit of time that way, and you don't have to keep going back and forth.
Right.
So,
So, how many days do you offer tours for?
so Bali itself, just that island, including the day of arrival and departure, that's 7 days. Um, there's a neighboring island that's become popular in recent years. I had visited it right before it blew up, became so popular. Nusa Penida. And that's
Mm.
only a 45-minute boat ride away, which crazy. What is there's two islands right off the coast of Bali, and Nusa Penida is one, and there's this other one right next to it. The
Mm.
other one is smaller, and it's mostly popular just for like Australians and Brits to go there and drink and party and stuff. But in Nusa Penida, nobody was going to before.
Mm.
And one of the prettiest islands I've seen anywhere on this planet in terms of natural landmarks is Nusa Penida.
Mm.
And considering it's so close to Bali, I was just like, how does nobody know about this place? How is this not, one of the most popular places in Asia? And now people are starting to like, they're starting to realize like, oh my God, there's this place right next to it. So when people have 10 days, I
Mm.
say do Bali and Nusa Penida, considering it's just so close. And if you have 13 days, then I say to add the Gili Islands,
Ah.
um, which there's no cars on the Gili Islands. It's all just your 2 feet. And they have some horse carriage. They do have that one, but
Ah.
um, that's kind of how to do it. 7 days, 10 days, or 13 days. Um, that's kind of how to cover the area there.
And it's a 2 day air ticket from US? I mean, it's a 2 day time frame because you're losing, I think you're losing a day over the date line,
Yeah,
right?
and then
Or
when you get back though, it's you get back the same day. So yeah, when you leave the U.S., um, you're almost always arriving 2 days
two
later,
days, right?
and then when you come back, you're arriving the same day.
Yeah, people get a little confused when they know, like they think, okay, I can do this in a week, and they don't understand the timing for the air. So I always tell people just tack on 2 days at the beginning and 1 day at the end for your travel days, and don't count those. Although you probably do pack things in, since you always pack people pack things into your tours. But it's best not to think that you're going to be aware and awake and ready to just go as soon as you hit the ground. But you can't check right into your hotel many times. So it is good to have some kind of
Yeah,
tour before that.
that's exactly. Yeah, you guessed it right there. So usually on day one, we don't pack things, and that's for all the tours that we operate in. We're in 30 countries. Bali, we kind of make an exception because one, people typically arrive before you can check into the hotel, although you can pay for an early check-in. And then two, the airport is very near to a lot of these attractions. So we'll give people the option, hey, do you want to make this 8 days? And we can sleep one, and then you see the stuff closer to the airport, and then we continue. Or do you just want to see it? Let's do it, and then take you there. So people have the option. They're not just, um, they don't just have to run right away the second they get there. It just kind of depends how much time people have.
And let me just explain the general way that your tours work, because it's different from all of my other tour suppliers. With Charlie's tours, which is he's in 30 countries around the world, and he chooses these countries because they are really good fits for his types of tours, and the travelers who we book there. So you can leave on any day you want. There is no restriction on days or dates. You don't have to have a full tour. So you say, I want to leave on this date. And then for day one, which is your day one, it could be day 5 for another person. And so Charlie kind of mixes and matches people for the tours. So the tours could be with other people or they could be alone. But you're getting the value of him kind of coordinating these tours with multiple travelers on the same days. So
That's right.
did I say that well enough?
Yeah, so some of them are shared, some are private. It's going to depend on the country. For Bali specifically, is a private tour. There
Ah,
are a few parts that are shared, but not a lot. So the part that's shared is you go up to a place called Mount Batur. This one, you wake up like at 3 in the morning because you're going to watch the sunrise.
oh,
So back in the day when they didn't have the option, you would just basically um, wake up and you had to hike the thing.
mm,
And now they have a 4x4. So now what we do is you still have to wake up early just so you can get, see the sunrise type of thing. When you're on the 4x4, you're sharing that with other travelers. But
okay.
other than that excursion to where you get to the top of Mount Batur to watch the sunrise, this one is a private tour.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's good.
Mhm.
And you get mostly couples who want to go to Bali, although there are a lot of single travelers these days who also want to do beach destinations. Um, and Bali is a good destination for solo travelers.
You get a lot of, especially female solo travelers,
Hmm.
um, not only in Bali, but throughout Southeast Asia. It's relatively affordable compared to the rest of the world, and they feel safe and they have a good reputation. So when you put safety and low cost in the same sentence together, you'll find a
Hmm.
lot of solo female travelers going. Um, so yeah, I would probably say there's Southeast Asia and parts of the Mediterranean tend to get more solo travelers, female solo travelers, maybe like Italy and in Greece and Spain. But yeah, those are the two parts of the world.
And I think that's changing too. I think that women are feeling more empowered lately, and are traveling solo more often, or having groups of women traveling together. And Bali is one that is known for wellness retreats. Eat, Pray, Love was Bali. So there's a lot of people who want to get together, do wellness, meditation, yoga, as well as adventure travel.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. And what a lot of these solo female travelers do, they're often traveling for longer periods of time, more than just like 7 days. And
Hmm.
they're doing their big trip throughout Southeast Asia, and they're combining Bali with Singapore, and then Thailand or the Philippines or something,
Hmm.
because the whole region there is very packed, and because it takes so long to get there, um, a lot of times with younger people, when they go there, they really want to make good use of their time.
Right.
Some of the older customers, they're just like, look, this is what we have. Let's make every second count, and
Hmm.
that's where we'll have like the 7 day tour and 10 day tour and 13 day tour.
So take us through. So you start people at the airport and see some of. Are there temples around the airport that you're seeing, or what kind of highlights are there?
There's a water blow cliff, actually. It's kind of
Hmm.
crazy. So you go there, it's just a cliff. Doesn't look like anything's happening, and just the funny thing is for people who don't know what's going on, they just kind of stand there and they just say, "Look at me, I'm happy I'm here, and thank you God for letting me stay here." And and all of a sudden, it just goes straight in their face.
Oh,
Yeah, it is just as looks like a tsunami going right over you. So, luckily, our tour guides won't mess with our customers that way and torture them. But for travelers who just go there on their own, they're going to be surprised by God's creation. So there's that.
oh,
So there's the water below cliff. There's a bunch
mm,
of beaches that are closer to the airport, um, and there's a nice temple to see over there. So it's like one temple, a bunch of pretty beaches. There's that water below cliff.
mm,
And then the nicest part about it, though, in my opinion, is this village. It's a fishing village. It's called Jimbaran. Um, and the reason why people go there is they will have the restaurants right on the sand, and they're
mm,
lined up all the way down. It's really romantic. And you're going to hear music. You're going to smell the seafood. Um,
mm,
it's very light. It's not nicely illuminated.
mm.
Um, it's a good way to start your first day. I mean, as long as you're not jet lagged, and that's the thing. But
All right.
I mean, the best first impression is to have your dinner over there. So typically, we will book a table in advance because it packs out. Even though there's a lot of restaurants there,
Mm,
you kind of have to like book it in advance. And you get there and you just experience the whole thing, and you got the food coming out and everything.
mm.
Um, and then after you've had your dinner, then we basically take you to Ubud, where the hotel is. You sleep there, and then the next day we continue on with the tour.
Okay, that sounds like a great way to start. And I would always recommend if you're going to do a long flight, splurge for the business class. That will give you a lay flat seat. You'll be able to sleep on the plane. And I always tell people, to start figuring out what your new time frame or time zone will be. So if you're supposed to be asleep, just force yourself, try to get some sleep. And if you're supposed to be awake, force yourself to stay awake and through dinner. That's a great idea to keep people up through dinner so that they do stay awake that long.
Yeah, I mean the alternative to that, of course, is we get you to a hotel near to the airport, and there are a lot of 5-star hotels over there,
Mm,
um, and you can kind of rest that day, and then we can kind of pick things up the next day. The only disadvantage to that, of course, is you're going somewhere, you're checking in, and you're likely going to be paying for an early check-in, but um, you're checking in that day. You don't know how you're going to feel the next day. You got to pack your stuff, check out again. So it's comparing basically adding a
mm,
day and checking in and checking
mm,
out
mm.
versus just kind of toughing it out and seeing a bunch of cool stuff when you arrive and then getting to your hotel in the evening. You have both options.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, it's hard for people to know ahead of time what they are going to like unless they know they've traveled a lot and they know that they're just wiped out the first day and they just don't want to do anything. But we can always extend the tours also and give you free days in between if you want some days of just some rest and relaxation too.
Yeah, that's right. And for those who do want to kind of rest before they do it, Seminyak. is the area near to the airport that I recommend people stay. It's classier. There's Kuta. A lot of people know Kuta, but
Mm.
this is kind of where some Westerners go. But Kuta and Bali really have little to do with each other. Like Kuta is basically the place where Westerners will just go and drink beer and get loud, and it's just coincidentally near to the airport.
Mm.
But unless you want to get wasted, I tell people, either go to Seminyak if you want that pre-tour day, and again, if you don't, then let's just go to Ubud.
Okay. And then what do you do when you wake up the next day?
You give the person next to you a big kiss. That's what you do, Lenny.
I don't mean like, take a shower, brush your teeth. I don't mean that. I mean for the tour.
Yeah. So there's these temples that you see on day two.
Mm.
There's a really nice waterfall. There's this cave. It's called Elephant Cave, and you're going to see some. You're going to see artwork, and you're going to see temple structures inside there. It's a very unique one.
Mm.
And then there's these rice terraces you see.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
yeah, and then there's that. That's also the place where they have that Instagram spot.
The
You know,
swing, the Bali swing.
yeah, and then, well, they have a bunch of them now. It's not just
Oh,
one.
okay.
Now they have an actual nest,
Uh,
and people, so the person that you're waking up to and giving a kiss in the morning, you get that person inside that bird nest, and you take your photo, and you share that memory, and then afterwards, we take you to a cooking class,
oh.
and you go to somebody's home, or we go to a restaurant depending on the day, and then you're taught how to make local dishes, and then after
Mm.
you've cooked the stuff, you eat it.
So the thing about those rice terraces, this is a UNESCO heritage site. The way the terraces are, and they use ducks to take care of the rice. So you'll see ducks wandering through, which I think is really cute.
Yeah, and they are a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I mean, it was designed, centuries ago, millennia ago,
Mm.
um, and I mean, it was done for the purpose of farming, but it's done in such a pretty way.
Mm.
Artistically, is pleasing to the eye. And it's the one that we take you to. There's another one that we take you to that's also popular, but yeah, when you pass by those rice terraces, people obviously want to stop and take all their photos there.
Right. Yeah, the Instagrammable spot that I know is the swing. There's a Bali swing, but I'm not sure where it is on the island.
Yeah, and then on the third day, that monkey forest that you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I love the
uh,
monkeys.
yeah, I love the monkeys. Um, yeah, you'll find those on day three. I mean, that's
Mm.
actually really near to Ubud.
Uh,
And you kind of check out the town itself. Um, and you see that monkey forest just right next to it. And then after that, we kind of like leave the city a bit and kind of check out some more temples. And there's this one temple that we take you to in the evening, and you watch the sunset. It's the best place
mm.
on the island from which to watch the sunset.
And the warning about the monkeys is that they are known for stealing things from tourists. They'll take your sunglasses, you take your hat. So just beware. But they're very smart monkeys, and you can negotiate with them, trade.
Yeah, if you read up on evolution, you'll kind of figure out how we share DNA. We're not that different.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Look, you know what I mean? You got your needs, I got mine. Look, what can we work out here? Um,
So you're giving them breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day?
on the third day,
Yes, I think we're on day 3, aren't we? Yeah.
well, on day two, you get the breakfast at the hotel because breakfast is
Right.
included with the 5-star hotels,
Yes.
and then dinner's included. So the only time you pay for food on that day is lunch, and we
Okay.
take you around 12 o'clock to a restaurant and you just buy lunch there. The third day, it's just the breakfast.
Mm.
There's some restaurants near to where to watch the sunset. You can buy dinner there. Um, and then it kind of depends on the day. So on the fourth day, we leave Ubud. Because remember how I was telling you earlier that you don't want to be based in Ubud the whole time. You do want to leave for a day and come back.
Right.
The fourth day is where you basically leave Ubud and you relocate to a place called Lovina. Lovina doesn't yet have any five-star hotels. It only has a four-star,
Mm,
but the four-star hotel there is still good. All of our customers has liked
okay.
this hotel. You get to the hotel in the evening, so there's a lot of important things to see along the way.
Mm,
There's these other rice fields that are very popular. There's another temple that's nice. There's this very beautiful lake. It's called Bratan
mm,
Lake. There's some waterfalls that you check out, and then there's these hot springs. You may have seen photos of the hot springs. That's where people are like praying, and they
mm,
they they kind of dressed up over there, and they're kind of praying at these hot springs.
mm,
That's the spot for that. It's a
mm,
very famous like postcard photo
mm,
of Bali. And then after you've done with the hot springs, now you're in Lovina. You also watch the sunset from there, which is really nice.
mm. It's
So
mountainous.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
you're like on the top of the peak at that point, or I mean, how would you describe the
The
landscape?
sunset.
Yeah.
Well, no, the landscape. It's very green. I mean, you're going to see the rice terraces of the waterfall. I mean,
Mm,
it's yeah. It looks like it's a fantasy looking island.
hmm.
You just look all around you and you say, my gosh, it's just like too good to be true type of thing. Um, and you're making all these nice stops and you're seeing such a variety of things. I mean, like I just described yesterday on day 4. I mean, here you are seeing the rice fields, and now you're seeing a temple, and now you're seeing
Mm,
these waterfalls, and now here's this beautiful lake, and then here's these hot springs. So the fact that you have this contrast in
mm,
scenery and attractions, it's going to keep you excited and engaged with what you're seeing on that day, right? Because if we only
hmm.
showed you temple, 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 or whatever,
Right. You get
after a
sick of
while
them.
you're gonna get tired of it. So
Right.
you keep the brain fresh, and we make lots of stops so you don't feel like you're just in a car all day long. You're seeing a lot of important stuff along the way. So on that
Right.
fifth day, you've now woken up in Lovina. In the morning, you're taken on this like traditional boat. It's like a boat that it's from Bali.
Uh,
It's a cute little boat, and then you go looking for dolphins. So it's not
mm.
a guarantee you're going to see them, but usually you do. Um, and then after that, you go back to the hotel, you have your breakfast, you check out. Um, you're then taken to these waterfalls. You go swimming at these waterfalls, see a couple of temples, and now you're back in Ubud.
So there's not a lot of water sport activity, it sounds like. A diver, like to snorkel. So you're not doing a lot of that. You're mostly exploring the island.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Bali. I've traveled extensively throughout Indonesia,
Hmm.
not only Bali. And I actually wrote an article of covering all of Indonesia, not only Bali.
Hmm.
Um, and there are some really popular spots for like the snorkeling and that kind of thing. Bali is not ranked toward the higher. It's not
Right.
one of the more popular places. So there are places where you can do it, of course. But if you have more time and you're going to be exploring Indonesia, there's some other spots for it that I think are
Sure.
better.
Yeah, I agree. I just want people to understand that this isn't like going to an island that's mostly water sport areas. Like that's just not the way Bali is.
Yeah, it's not how it's set up. Um, so on the fifth night, you're back in Ubud.
Mm-hmm.
Now we want people to go to bed nice and early on that day, so we get them back at a decent hour. Because on the sixth day, you got to wake up early. If people say, "Look, I don't want to do it," we'll just skip it. Not a big deal. But most people like waking up to watch the sunrise at Mount Batur. So that's why you get up like at 3 in the morning. We take you over there, and then you get on the Jeep. You're joining other travelers,
Hmm.
and we'll take you all the way to the top. You're going to watch the sunset. Um, and then we'll show you some nice scenery on your
You
way
mean
back.
the sunrise? You said sunset.
Sorry, I meant sunrise.
Sunrise.
Yeah, the
And
sun's doing something.
do you give them something to eat and drink?
Oh no, of course, yeah, yeah. That means because no, no, of course we do because yeah, the restaurant's not going to be open at that hour, so we um, provide them food in the morning.
Oh, that's good.
Um, and then basically you'll check out that and check out some nice landscape,
Mm.
and then we get you back. And at this point, you're going to be a little bit tired. So we get you back at a decent hour and you have time to sleep when you come back that day. So that's kind of how the 6 day goes. And then from there, it's like, well, if you got to go back home, if you've traveled across the world, you only got 7 days, you go home. If not, that's where we start taking you to like Nusa Penida for 3 more days
Mm.
or the Gili Islands for 3 more days, that kind of thing.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a great tour. I'm going to do a little housekeeping here. You're listening to Travel Talk Tuesday with me, Lainey Melnick. I'm the owner of the Dream Vacations travel agency in the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. And I'm here with Charlie the Traveler, who is one of my partners who does tours. He's a tour provider for all over the world, 30 countries. He's a travel expert. He writes books, talks about travel all over the place, including our fabulous live stream. If you would like to win a Norwegian cruise, that's my quarterly contest. Scan the QR code up there and enter to win our quarterly contest. You can also win a $50 gift certificate towards any Charlie the Traveler tour anywhere in the world, booked through my agency, Lainey Melnick and Associates, Dream Vacations. So all you have to do is do a hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday on your comments on any of our live streams, on any of our platforms. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And if you guys would follow me on TikTok, I'll be able to do TikTok soon. I need more followers to allow us to do a scheduled live. I can go live like just off the cuff, but I can't do a scheduled live, and that's how we do these. So anyway, thank you for watching.
You know what I just learned recently? I never knew
Mm.
this. That TikTok, it's owned by by Chinese. I
Chinese.
didn't.
How did you not know that? Everybody knows that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, it was a big controversy because the government wanted to shut them down because they didn't want, they thought that was their way of getting information from Americans, which it could be still, but I still use it.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't used that much. My brother loves it.
My daughter is loving it these days too. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us to talk about Bali. Why don't you tell us what the cost is of that tour, the 7 day
Let me see. I don't have it memorized, but okay, $2,002
per person?
per person. Yeah, based on two people in a room, like a husband and wife or something.
And is
Or
that including their accommodations?
that includes the hotel.
Ooh. So remember that not all meals are included, but it's extremely affordable in Bali. And that is such a great price. $2,000 per person for a 7 day full tour, accommodations. And if you are one of my fabulous luxury clients who I love very much, who want to stay in a 5-star resort in the best suite or a villa, we can change your accommodations however you need. Charlie and I can work together to make sure that you get exactly the vacation that you'd like. So it's a great option for people who are going to a destination like Bali that's very adventurous. Oh, let's talk about mobility. I now have some mobility issues, so I use a wheelchair sometimes. How is it in Bali dealing with people with accessibility needs?
It's a little bit tough,
Hmm.
in all honesty. Yeah, they're not set up like what we'd imagine in other countries. Like in Western countries. So I mean, little by little, they're catching up. I mean, their hotels, their restaurants, that kind of stuff goes first for them. But yeah, people who have mobility issues is a little bit of a challenge in Bali because even like the temples, like right, there's a lot of steps to get
Mm,
up to the temples, or you get the waterfalls. So there's sometimes some rocks as you're getting into the water. So um, for people who have mobility issues, yeah, there are limitations there.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's unfortunately even in America where there's the ADA, it's a challenge if you have mobility issues, no matter where you are. So
Yeah, because the problem is most of the stuff Like it's not usually just like drive through and it's right in front of you. It usually requires a little bit of a walk
Right.
to get, and not crazy walks. We're not talking these like 2 hour walks, but 10 minutes, little rock, little this, little that, you know. Um, so yeah.
And I understand that there is actually a breed of dog called the Bali dog that is from the island, and I don't know if they just called the dogs Bali dogs if they live on the island.
Um, you'll find a few dogs around over there. They're not hard to find. Um, but I think you're talking about a specific breed. Um, I think what is it, Kintamani, something like that. Um, it's a certain breed. It's like a white dog
Oh.
that comes from Bali.
So wildlife there isn't a lot of wildlife. I mean, you've got the monkeys and the dogs and the ducks, but I mean, for some reason I'm thinking tigers in Indonesia. I don't know.
You're probably thinking tigers. You may be thinking about komodos, and the komodos are on a different island. It's on Flores Island in Indonesia.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff's really cool too. But yeah, these are big old dragon komodos.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's similar. Well, not really similar. I was going to say it's similar to the Galapagos, but it's not at all.
No, no, no. Those komodos are. I've never. Those look like lizards on steroids. That's what
Right, they're just, and they've got the big fans. They're like dinosaurs, kind of mini dinosaurs.
yeah, yeah, something like that. Um, but yeah, it's really a cool country. They're very friendly people. They're really easy to talk to. Um, yeah, it's very rare that somebody complains about Bali. I mean,
Yeah.
from the food to the scenery, the hotels, it's just it's a place that just doesn't really have a lot of drama to it. Um, some of the driving is it's funny. That's the only thing. I mean, we get you more onto the nature, so you don't have that problem. But sometimes when we leave the cities and get you onto the nature, you'll kind of see some traffic jams and stuff until we get you out. So it's kind of interesting to see how people they drive like ants almost, and how it all works. And
Right. It's similar, I think, to when I was in Vietnam and the scooters, like a million scooters, and you just have to walk out into traffic and the scooters go around you. It's just opposite from how you would think you're supposed to use traffic.
I'll never forget in Bali. I had asked the guy. I said, "How explain to me how this works because I don't see all these accidents. I don't, but every second it for me feels like it's going to be an accident. So how is it that you guys are able to do this?" And he said the golden rule is to never press on the brake. So
Exactly.
just don't whatever you do, don't hit your brake. I mean, so okay, all right. Well, I'll let you drive. I'm going to do what I do. You do what you do.
Yeah,
And
it is. I mean, it can be frightening for Americans. That's why, like, Americans trying to drive in those areas, it's not what we've learned how to drive.
yeah, no, because my buddy and I were in Vietnam, and I mean, we're grown men, so you can't really tell people what to do. But this was one time I put my foot down. He wanted to rent a motorcycle, and I just told him no. Like the answer is no. Like there's no
I
diplomatic nothing.
know.
I was like, I don't want my best friend to die. So, um, Bali is not. It's not that great. It's just more like traffic jam sometimes. That's why we like to wake up in the morning, um, and start our days, earlier, like 8 o'clock, that kind of thing. So to avoid the traffic jams. And then once you get out into the nature, I mean, you're not. It's you and Mother Nature at that point.
So how large is this island? Going from one end to the other, like how many hours drive are we talking about?
Um, it's a big one. I mean, it'll take you, I would say, a good 5 6 hours to get from one side to the other. But we don't try doing that. That's where because
Right.
the airport begins on the south. We try to get you up a little bit more toward the center, and Ubud is the center, and then that's where you're making these excursions, and then at one point we kind of bring you up north and bring you back down. That way you
Mm,
don't feel like you're just in the car all day long. There's a
right.
lot of intricacy in setting up the logistics to that. But for people who are doing the tour, they don't know the difference. They arrive and they say, okay, what time do you want me in the lobby tomorrow? And they don't really think about anything. They shut off the brain and just enjoy a week of their life.
Right, and that's why you use a travel agent, why you use a tour provider, is because you want to enjoy your travels, and this is making your memories for your lifetime. You have to trust people who know what you want to do and give you these amazing experiences. So Charlie has worked extremely hard on all his countries to give you the experiences that are the best of the area for your lifetime. So, I mean, that's why I love working with Charlie, and I have many options around the world. You can do cruises, you can do land vacations, you can just go to a hotel or rent a villa. But when you want a tour, you want to see everything in an area, you want to make sure you hit all the highlights. Charlie is the guy to send you with around the world.
Yeah, you don't really want to stress about it because you're going there to relax.
Hmm.
And it takes a long time to kind of figure out all this stuff. So how do you cover the highlights um, and not backtrack, and how do you not miss anything important, and then not be repetitive, right? How you just don't spend 7 days looking at just temples and nothing else. So you
Right.
want the cooking class. You want to wake up and see dolphins when you wake up.
Yeah.
You want to take a photo in some of those like, heart shaped nests that they have for Instagram pics. Um, so it's the diversity and knowing how to do the tour right and staying at the right hotels and knowing the right restaurants to eat at and all this kind of stuff. Just, I mean, that's what you want your fantasy trip to become a reality, and you want all your problems to go away for 7 or 10 days.
That's right. So let me just tell you who we are again. You're listening to Travel Talk Tuesday with me, Lainey Melnick. I'm the owner of Dream Vacations in the Westlake Hills area of Austin, Texas. And I'm with Charlie the Traveler. He is a tour provider, global travel expert. His tours span 30 countries. And if you would like to win our quarterly contest, please scan the QR code and you can enter to win a Norwegian cruise this quarter. And in order to win a Charlie the Traveler $50 gift certificate, please type hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday into your comments on any of our live streams on any platform, and you can get a $50 gift certificate towards any Charlie the Traveler tour in anywhere around the world, booked by me or my team at Lainey Melnick and Associates Dream Vacations. Ah, that is a mouthful.
You got energy, girl.
I can't help it. As soon as I'm off, I nap. So, what are we going to talk about next week? We have talked, well, this is our seventh episode. We have talked about Greece, the United Arab Emirates, Sicily, where
What,
else?
one,
Philippines.
one, one thing I did want to say though, if I could just
Oh,
throw this
go
in
ahead.
before
Yeah.
we go into the next thing. Bali is a piece of the pie. All right, so it's a part of the mosaic. Bali is one island of many that comprises the country of Indonesia.
Mm.
So Bali is the one that everybody kind of hears about, but the country as a whole is really pretty. I mean, there's this place called Kelimatu volcano that's really good. There's that Komodo National Park where we're talking about those big
Mm.
old, those lizards that are taking steroids, right? Uh,
Komodo dragons, yes.
yeah, and then there's the Gili Islands, those are kind of like a hippie hotspot. It's kind of like a fashionable
Mm.
place to see and be seen. It's that kind of vibe over there. Um, so the country as a whole offers a lot of important stuff to see. One of the most beautiful things I've seen anywhere on the planet um, was is on a different island altogether.
Mm.
That's called Bromo National Park. That's in a different place. It's probably the single most beautiful
Mm.
attraction I've seen anywhere. And it's the sunrise, and when the clouds kind of go down, you see the volcano, and it's
Ah,
just this crazy looking volcano. Um, so I had never seen nothing like that in my life. Um,
So when
you know,
you go to these other islands, do you just have like an island hop kind of plane, or do you do it by boat?
it's a combination of everything. So, um, like we basically will tell you where we recommend you start and your end, um, and we do the whole thing. But yeah, you're going to need some boats, some flights,
Mm,
obviously the land transfers and that kind of thing. But again, logistically you want to do it in the right order,
right.
so it just moves smoothly. But yeah, so, some of the most amazing things I've seen anywhere in the world are right there. I mean, there's also Ijen, the volcano. I didn't mention
Mm.
anything. That is this volcano where it spits out this blue flames,
Oh.
and it's like dark, and then
Uh,
also, and like, people, they have to wear these masks so they don't
uh,
inhale the sulfur.
uh,
But I mean, I never seen nothing like that in my life. My God,
mm,
and there are
mm.
these miners there at the same time. So the same time you're seeing um, the land spit out this blue flames.
Uh,
At the same time, you have these people that are mining, and they're like,
huh.
yeah, I mean, it's got a bunch of this stuff that it's
Mm.
hard to see elsewhere on the planet. So again, if you have 7 days, do Bali, get in and out. Um, but for those who have more time, um, I mean, you need a good 3 weeks just to cover the highlights in Indonesia as a whole. But
Mm.
a lot of people are not fortunate to have that much time, and that's why they'll
Yeah.
just do 7 in Bali, 10 in Bali and Nusa Penida, or 13 in Bali, Nusa Penida, and the Gili Islands.
And I recently sent an executive with Top Golf out for 2 days only in Jakarta. So 2 nights. He flew from here 2 days to be there 2 nights for the Top Golf grand opening in Jakarta. And Jakarta is a big city, lots of stuff to do there. That's totally different from all of this.
So
So
now we took. Sorry, I'm sorry.
no, I was just going to say Indonesia is just, full of options, like from all sides.
Um, so for next week,
Mm.
you want to do. I don't know how much of.
Mm.
I don't know if we did Brazil or Canada, one of those.
We didn't do Brazil. That would be interesting. Canada, where in Canada do you go?
Jasper, Banff,
Oh, okay. I
all
love
that.
I love all that area.
Yeah, I mean the
Look at a lot.
activities, the gondola rides and the seaplane tours, the
Right.
hydrofoil tours, the helicopter rides we do. Um,
Mm.
that's for outdoor adventurous. That's one of the best tours we have. That one in New Zealand.
So we're in winter right now. So let's think about what would be a good destination for winter, because we'll have winter for another
Brazil.
few months. Yeah, I think Brazil might be a good one for us to talk about.
Yeah, and there's a lot to talk about over there too. I don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah,
Do you do Argentina too, or just Brazil?
we do Argentina as well.
I mean, do you want to talk about more, or just focus on Brazil or Rio?
One week, let's do one. The next week we do the other. Because
Okay.
there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to talk about over there.
Yes, that is very true. That's I was going to say that's where all the Nazis went, but that's that's a totally different story.
A different one. I think people are going there now for a different reason.
Yes. Okay, that sounds good. We're just about finished up today. Oh, hi, Joanne. So please remember to put hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday in your comments. It doesn't have to be today during our live. It can be as you're watching afterwards. Most people actually don't watch during the live broadcast. They watch it after, which is great. Fine. Please forward it around to people who have questions about Bali. Please do, and go back to our other episodes. I have a playlist on my YouTube channel of all our Travel Talk Tuesdays. I don't know. Do you have one too, Charlie? If not, you should get one.
I gotta get one.
Wait, do you have a YouTube are you posting this on YouTube? I can't remember.
Yeah, we have a YouTube. I'm not as cool as you. I'm trying to figure this
Oh,
stuff out, but um, No,
You have to have a certain level before you can go live on YouTube.
but my mother says I'm cool, so that's what matters to me, Lainey. Everything
I
else,
think you're cool.
oh, I got two fans. That's what matters.
So
So
please follow us. Follow us on all of our networks, all of our platforms, because
yeah, of course we
Charlie
have.
is hurt.
Yeah, we have. I mean, of course, we've got the Instagram, we've got the Facebook, and we got our YouTube channel and stuff like that. And we got some good
Yeah.
stuff out there. We've recently put together some videos on Greece and in Brazil.
Yes.
So that'd be a good one to watch before people watch our show next week. But yeah, it goes into details of these places that I'm recommending, and yeah, we got a lot of good material out there.
Yeah, so do I. I have a bunch of YouTube videos. I actually just got an award from Travel Weekly for my travel agent innovation of my Travel with Lainey YouTube channel. So thank you for my Silver Magellan Award. I was very appreciative of being recognized. So thank you, Travel Weekly. And please watch my channel. Please subscribe and follow all of the links in my bio, which if you hit my QR code above, one of them is entered to win our quarterly contest. So please enter to win, and you'll get hopefully a Norwegian cruise this quarter. And remember to do the hashtag Travel Talk Tuesday in your comments for a $50 gift certificate towards any travel with Charlie the Traveler tour booked by my agency, Lainey Melnick, Dream Vacations, any of my team. I have a fabulous team. Behind the scenes, we have Alex from my team and Evelyn from Charlie's team managing us behind the scenes. So thank you to you guys. And thank you all for watching. And please like, comment, share, follow.
The whole thing.
The whole thing. I think we have to fill a few more minutes or else we can, I don't know, Alex, can we log off early today? I see no comments. So, oh, there we go. So thank you so much for watching, everybody.
Cool.